Okay, so I'm going to get into it, guys. Thank you for your patience. Like I said, you are all here to find your makeup style, and I want to help you find your kind of ultimate capsule makeup bag. So if at any point, guys, you can't hear or something's not working, just let me know in Chatango box and we'll call in Dave. Dave knows the techie side, and by the time I do my next workshop, maybe I'll be like a pro at this tech thing. So yeah, you are here to find your makeup style, and I feel like this is something I'm quite passionate about, because the amount of women I meet who, you know, feel like they're always stuck in a makeup rut. They want to wear certain things, but they don't know how to approach it. They don't know what suits them. And I feel like today we're going to kind of tackle those and tackle things like your makeup fears. You know, what is it you keep buying that perhaps you don't need? What is it that you want to try out but maybe you're afraid to? So let's get into this webinar. So just give me a quick hey on the Chatango if everything is still working fine and all coming through. So I'm going to get in with it. Thank you for all sticking with me, guys, and being here. So I'm going to crack on. So you're in the right place here. So let's get to why you're here and what you're looking to learn today. So you're stuck in a makeup rut. You want to find makeup products you love, feel great. You want to stop wasting money on fad trends or products that are too complicated to use. You want to find your makeup style. So, I mean, these are kind of things that people tell me regularly, you know, not just clients I work with, but friends of my mum, friends of my sister, friends that I have that just want to find makeup that works for them, you know, and stop being kind of brought into that idea of like faddy products and trends. So again, you know, a few key products that are relevant of kind of price point, you know, they're things that you're probably going to repurchase again and again, and that you're willing to give your money to because you know they work and you know they make you feel great. So I would love by the end of today to help you guys all feel like you can get a capsule makeup bag with products that work in harmony with you and work in harmony with your skin type. I think that's the biggest thing I find as a makeup artist is people often are using the wrong products for their skin type and then wonder why the makeup doesn't work. So I want to help you create makeup looks also with the key products that we're going to kind of help you guys create today that will help you make every different kind of makeup for every occasion. So, you know, with a few key products, I believe you can make several makeup looks. It's not about the more makeup you have, the more looks you can create with makeup. It's more about using a few key products and knowing how to get the most from them. So, and for anyone who stays to the end, especially with the technical difficulties today, there will be a special bonus. So let's go over what we're going to learn today. So I want to help you identify your makeup style. I feel like makeup style is just as personal as your clothes style, and it's really an extension of kind of how you represent yourself, and it's an extension of the clothes you wear. And I think it's equally important. And I think, you know, all the talk of kind of the capsule makeup wardrobes now and things like that, it's so great that people are really talking about that because, you know, we've learned to kind of declutter our wardrobes, declutter our life. And yes, I'm a makeup artist. I'm always going to have a crazy amount of product because I have to deal with every kind of face, every different skin tone, and I have to be prepared for every eventuality. However, for you guys, you're just working with yourself and, you know, you don't need as much makeup as you think you need. So I'm going to also help you find products that make application quick and easy. And, you know, the whole point is that it should make you feel great. You should feel like the best version of yourself every single time. And like I said, we're going to create some kind of bespoke capsule makeup bag, or at least kind of list down some products that we feel that you feel will make you feel great and help you stop targeting the wrong products. Okay, plus there will be a live Q&A. So at the end of the webinar, there will be a live Q&A and we will have a chat and you guys can ask me questions. We can go over some specific beauty needs and it will be nice because we can kind of all, you know, questions that one person might ask might answer another person's question. So give me a heads up on the Chatango now if this is all working and you feel like you are with me still. Working perfect. That's what we like to hear. Okay, thank you, Sana. Miss Lady Penny, all good? Yes, all good. Awesome. Okay, so like I said, I want this to be quite a sort of interactive workshop, guys. So the first thing I want you to get is a pen and paper. And I don't know if anyone saw on my socials, but if you have your makeup bag nearby, bring it over and just kind of put it on the table with you. So I've got mine here as well. And yeah, I want you to kind of take some notes. I want you to really get to grips with sort of every element of finding your makeup style and really kind of decluttering your makeup bag and also seeing kind of your makeup bag and what's in it will say a lot about your makeup style anyway. So go grab some pen and paper And let's kick off by saying, what's your makeup style? Now, I don't know if anybody saw the, I think it's on Netflix, guys. It's called Advanced Style, one of the most incredible documentaries I've ever seen about style in particular. And whilst the focus was on clothes, there was a lot of talk of makeup as well. And it was generally ladies who were kind of in the range of 75 to 95 years old, who just loved expressing themselves and really knew who they were. They knew what their makeup style was. Now, I know obviously this image, I'm not in any way saying this is how we all should look or dress. It's just to give you, you know, an example, I think, of the freedom you can feel when you find makeup that makes you feel great, whether that's a really neutral, natural base, whether that is, you know, blue eyeshadow and purple lipstick. If that makes you feel great, then you need to own that and celebrate it. And, you know, I think there's a lot of psychology as well behind kind of makeup and the clothes we wear and how we express ourselves and what it kind of says about us, but also what it does for us, or how it makes us feel. Does it make us feel empowered? Things like that. And that's things I'd like to kind of look at more today as well. So just to give you a little bit of background about me for anyone who doesn't know me and doesn't know what I do, I am a professional makeup artist, so I work in fashion and with celebrities. I do a lot of red carpet work. And for me, you know, I wasn't always into makeup. That's the funny thing. I was very much a tomboy when I was like 11. And for me, finding my makeup style, I feel like it, you know, I really did watch women. I loved watching other women, whether it was my mum, whether it was, you know, when it was my dad's birthday, I remember my mum's friend coming around and doing my nan's makeup and just watching the whole process. And it felt very caregiving as well. I love that feeling of like giving another woman something really special. You know, my nan felt amazing, and it's a very personal thing as well, what I do. And I don't take it for granted. You know, someone trusting me with their face is a very, very nice thing. So, you know, my story really is that I feel like my makeup style has evolved from watching other women, but also, you know, I have experimented, not just obviously with my work, but with myself and kind of what makes me feel good. You know, I remember being 11 and 12. Someone said can't hear it anymore. Can anybody else hear it still? Check it's not gone off being live. Saying we're all good here, but anyone else? Is there anyone else that can't hear it? Do let me know. Or is it working now? Can everyone else hear it? You can hear it. Okay, so it seems to be working for everyone else. So, Anon, I wonder if you just need to refresh the page because everyone else is saying can hear it. Okay, cool. So might just need refreshing the page. So yeah, I feel like, you know, my story really was, I knew I wanted to be a makeup artist from a very young age, which is very surreal. And I know not everyone is lucky enough to kind of know what they want to do from an early age, but I love the feeling of watching people enjoy the transformation and, you know, that feeling of kind of playing with makeup and dressing up, I think is such a fun thing, especially when it's not for anybody else. You know, I really encourage you all as women just to, you know, wear red lipstick around the house for a day, even if no one sees you, and see how it makes you feel, if it makes you feel different from what you normally feel. So, and obviously, you know, starting work as a makeup artist and starting to meet, you know, other people and seeing their makeup style, I think it really inspired me, you know, the way the women I worked with, how they wore makeup and what the makeup meant to them as well. You know, there was definitely that feeling of, for me, makeup is empowering, it's my confidence, and also, you know, that feeling of like, I'm dressed now, I'm ready for the day. And it doesn't have to mean that either, you know, I'm just kind of showing you examples how it's very interesting for me how makeup, I really do just see it as an extension of kind of getting dressed. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me. And, you know, my philosophy really is I just want every woman to feel beautiful, like the best version of herself. And that's different for all of us. And I think that's really important. You know, your version of your best self shouldn't be based on anybody else. You know, it's about what makes you feel good. So yes, we'll take influence from how other people look or be inspired by, but ultimately you might just select certain bits. It might be the eye makeup or the lips or how they do their skin, and then kind of tailoring it to make your own idea of what's beautiful to you. So just to show you some people I've worked with, so beautiful Alison Williams from Girls, worked with her recently for the red carpet, beautiful, beautiful lady inside and out. It's just to show you some of my work guides as well. So Foxes I used to work with quite a lot. This was her for the cover of Fabulous. Oh, that's good. Someone's just put, finally got a computer so I can use this chat box without losing the video. Yay. Glad to hear it, Jem. You Magazine with Tamsin Egerton. You know, and as well, I've also learned a lot about lighting as well as a makeup artist. I think that's the biggest thing that you notice is how it has a difference on the makeup you wear and the time of day and, you know, what you're wanting your makeup to do. Winnie Harlow, this was an amazing opportunity for me to work with Winnie. She has vitiligo, and you know, she really taught me, you know, when we were doing her makeup, you know, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna put some concealer here, and she'd be like, oh, actually, if you put it in this bit, it diffuses the light better because of the lighter tone next to the darker tone. So it was amazing to really kind of, you know, I learn from other people, and also again, you know, she's very, she celebrates her vitiligo, but also she knew what made her feel comfortable in terms of how she wore foundation or concealer and where she wanted to hide and where she didn't want to, which I thought was really, I was so impressed by that, you know, that feeling of like, this is my skin and I love it, but I still want blusher here, I still want eyebrows here. And, you know, she kind of knew what she wanted to do with her makeup and what it said about her. Yeah, totally agree. Winnie is very, very beautiful. So yeah, that's a little bit of my work. And, you know, questions. So you've got your pen and paper, hopefully now, guys. So the first thing I want you to do, and, you know, you don't have to write this down straight away, just start thinking about these, but who do you look up to as a makeup icon? Now, you know, this doesn't have to be a celebrity, guys. It could be your mum, it could be your sister, it could be someone you work with. It could be when you're in another country and you see, you know, I know when I'm in Italy, I love watching Italian women. Their confidence is just so amazing. Whose makeup do you love? So, you know, is there a specific person? You know, is there an era that you love? Is there, you know, again, like I said, a country or kind of a culture whose makeup you love? And then two really, really important questions that I need you guys to answer is, what does natural makeup mean to you? And how do you define a smoky eye? So these are two really, really important questions because I feel like everyone has a different idea of this. And it's a classic thing for me, even as a makeup artist, when I say to someone, or if I'm on a shoot and I'm told, we're going to do a smoky eye today. You know, a smoky eye has so many different appropriations as with natural makeup. And I want you to start thinking right now what those two think. They're the kind of important questions is what does natural makeup mean to you and how do you define a smoky eye? So like we said, who do you look up to as a makeup icon? You know, it may be someone that's, you know, you work with, like I said, or a family member, but it might be someone you've seen on the red carpet who you always feel like you look forward to seeing the makeup they wear. You always feel they get it right. And there's certain elements of what they do you'd like to emulate. So, you know, we've got Audrey Hepburn, Diane Kruger, Alexa Chung, and these are just examples. Now, this woman is amazing. This is Baddie Winkle. Hit me up in the Chatango, guys, if anyone knows who Baddie Winkle is, because I love her. She's literally like when I'm older, this is who I want to be. So let me know in Chatango if anyone knows who Baddie Winkle is. She's amazing. So for anyone who doesn't know, Baddie Winkle is kind of like an Instagram celebrity, I guess. And I think she's in her 80s and 90s. I can't remember exactly, but she is so awesome. She literally does the whole playing with makeup, playing with fashion, and just has a really good time with it. You know, she's not kind of doing it for anyone but herself, and her whole philosophy is, you know, why can't I, why shouldn't I? And I kind of want to get this across as well, but I love that someone's put, note, but she's blooming awesome by the looks of it. Yeah, she really is. And I think that's the thing. It's kind of like, you know, I love that what her makeup says about her. Again, the message is, I don't care, you can't judge me. So, you know, obviously there's elements we'll all want to wear and not wear, but I just want to show you that, you know, I'm not just going to show you loads of pictures of natural makeup, guys, and expect that that's what should be your capsule makeup bag or your makeup style. You know, it's so individual. And that's a great thing. You know, we don't all have to look the same. So, you know, I wanted to put Baddie Winkle in here as a really good example, you know, to enjoy makeup and have fun with it. You know, and it's not necessarily about looking prettier, but just about feeling great. I think that's the important thing. Okay, so what does natural makeup mean to you? Like we just said, I love someone's put makeup goals right there. Yeah. So I asked you a minute ago, what does natural makeup mean to you? So maybe just start, you know, having a think in your head. You know, there might be a person that makes you think of that. It might be products that make you think of that. It might be scenarios that make you think of that. But I think start kind of picturing in your head what that means for you, natural makeup, because, you know, my idea of natural makeup is kind of what I'm showing you on the screen. But to some people, that might be far too less makeup. And for some people, that might be too much makeup. So just start thinking in your head what it is you're kind of thinking of. So I asked you a minute ago, what does a smoky eye look like to you? So we've got some examples. So, you know, again, it's just kind of to show that we're all different and there's no right or wrong answer with any of these questions. You know, we've got some people here who have, you know, we've got Drew Barrymore with, you know, the lashes make it smoky. We've got kind of the Cara Delevingne, which is a bit rock and roll grungy smoky. We've got one to the left in the middle where it's very, very soft and very, very subtle. But, you know, that might be it. That might be what for you is a smoky eye. And that's fine. You know, it's knowing how you visually appropriate those things. So Katie Holmes, you know, even the one in the top middle, that might be how you want to wear a smoky eye. And if it is, that's fine. It's just knowing that to you, that means is how you visualize a smoky eye. So hopefully you can see what I'm getting at here, guys. It's just that, you know, there's not one way of saying this is a smoky eye, this is a natural makeup. It will always be different for all of us. So then what I want you to do now with your pen and paper is kind of, again, it can just be keywords. It doesn't have to be like sentences or paragraphs, is what do you want your makeup to say about you? So if anyone feels comfortable to share in a chatango, maybe hit me up with some words. So just write down a few words, quick brain dump of what you're kind of thinking that you want your makeup to say about you. You know, for me, I know it's that I want to be taken seriously, but I also want to look chic. I want to feel smart, sort of smart casual. And, you know, I hope that my face is approachable as well. You know, they're things that are important to me. So let me know on Chatango if anyone's happy to kind of share what they're feeling and just write those words down. Okay, so polished and well turned out, yeah. Yeah, and you know, they're like really, I think once you kind of know what you're aiming to do with your makeup as well, then it's a little bit easier as well to kind of go for products from there. Okay. So, and then also, so like we were just saying, you know, it might be specific words. So if someone's put chic, pulled together and groomed, yeah, perfect. Someone's put effortless, yeah, I always love that. So, you know, some of the specific words you might have written down, you know, anything that's relevant to you. It could be that you want to appear athletic, you want to appear carefree, you might want to look professional. Maybe you're in an office job where, you know, there's kind of a certain expectation of the kind of look you have to wear. Maybe it's that you want, you know, to be powerful, to be strong, to be brave. Okay, cool. And someone's put reflect whatever mood I'm in. Yeah, I love that. So better version of me, polished and sophisticated. Cool. So it's nice seeing what you guys are saying, you know, and it's funny, they're all positive things. That's the nice thing. It feels like no one's trying to repel anyone with their makeup. So, you know, they're all kind of positive words. Okay. And just to reiterate what I said earlier, you know, makeup really is an extension of the clothes we wear. It's another form of expressing yourself. So I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying that and embracing it. And even the way you put makeup on, guys, you know, people talk about meditation in the morning, making some time for yourself. Maybe it can be when you're doing your makeup. You could light a candle, you know, you could have a lot of fun with it and just make it a little bit of time for you where you shut the door, put some nice music on and, you know, really celebrate that part of kind of painting your face and enjoying it. And, you know, for me as well, I see it as a little bit of self-care. It's fun, you know. So just a few more things that you might need to consider for, again, your work. So obviously, you know, a lot of us have to wear or not have to wear makeup for work, but, you know, that might be something that is a big part of the decisions we're making with what we want to look like or what we want our makeup to say. So another thing to think about is, do you need to look professional? Do you work outdoors? You know, do you need your makeup to be waterproof? You know, perhaps you're a lifeguard, you know, that might be something that affects the makeup you choose. Maybe you work in a hot kitchen, maybe you're a chef, maybe you kind of need a little bit more from your makeup in terms of longevity than other people might. So, you know, again, to your brain dump, just add anything like this, any of these questions that mean you're going to have to choose specific products over other products, for example. So a lot of people saying I want to look less tired and fresh. Yeah. Da-da! My husband saw me put this slide in and was like, what? And I was like, stay with me, babe, stay with me. So, you know, I think a lot of people are afraid of makeup, and they've got very different fears. So, you know, one of the common one might be like, oh, why would I bother? I've just not got enough time. I think some people, and it's quite a common one, I get a lot of people who are just afraid of looking too done. So what are your makeup fears? Do you have, guys, what do you mean by approachable? So I think, excuse me, so, you know, with your makeup fears, like I said, it's kind of writing down, is there anything specific that's kind of holding you back from maybe experimenting or finding the makeup you love? If you did want to look like the woman in this picture, like, brilliant, I think that's cool too. You know, there might be things that you want to try, but you're really afraid of. So, you know, I hear a lot of people go, I'd love to wear a red lip, Harry, but I'm just too scared. And again, it's like, but what are you scared of? Are you scared of how other people would see it? Are you afraid of how you would feel around other people? And it's kind of like, you almost have to put a why on the end of every question, because it's like, but why would you feel afraid if people saw you in a red lip? You know, if it makes you feel good, then you don't need their approval. So sometimes you almost do have to go quite deep with kind of looking at the reasons why you don't want to try something, or, you know, and tell me, guys, you know, I want to know what it is that makes you, you know, what are your makeup fears? Do you have fears that, you know, you feel like, actually, yeah, that's something that I've really felt for a long time? So people saying, fear makeup wearing me. I don't want it to look caked on, like it's not suitable, or more suitable for a club or too showy for the day. I'm scared of having heavy makeup on. Yeah, so, you know, these are all quite common fears. And I think, again, it's kind of getting to the point where you know what, this is why I asked earlier what your idea of natural is, because I think it's kind of knowing what your limits is with makeup in terms of, you know, you might be wearing a really heavy foundation when all you need is a tinted moisturizer. So, you know, write down any fears in your brain dump. If there's anything specific, just write it down so we can kind of come back to it in a minute. But it's a good thing to start thinking about, what are your makeup fears? Okay. Now, I think when you're trying to really kind of hone in on your makeup style, excuse me, when you're really trying to hone in your makeup style, one thing that makes it easier as well at the beginning is to choose a feature of focus. So by that, what I mean is, you know, it's always going to be that little bit easier if you go for an eye look or a lip look. So there's definitely ways you can implement both. But just to start out, you know, generally most women I meet will kind of be one or the other. They'll say, I always wear a bright lip, or I always wear lipstick. And some people say, you know, I just always wear lip balm, and I always do my eyes because I know I don't have to kind of touch them up throughout the day. So just write down if you have a feature of focus, if there's something that you tend to do more than the other. Okay. Okay. So it's funny, I'm just reading your comments, guys, and someone's even put, I fear contouring, it's aging, and I try to use it like very lightweight. I know I need it, but I just can't get it right all the time, I guess. So, you know, even in that, I think it's like, what is the feeling that's making you feel like you need contouring? You know, ask yourself where that's kind of coming from, that feel that you need to do it, because any makeup can be aging, I think, when it's done in a certain way. But also, you know, it's kind of, do you actually like the look of contouring? Is it something you like, or is it more that you feel you should be doing it? Because, you know, these are the kind of questions where we think, is it kind of doing it because we want to or because we should? And I think they're kind of two different things. So that's an interesting thing to think about with makeup as well. I love that someone's put skin is my focus. Yep, you know, and that's what I mean. That might be your focus. Okay. So I'm getting a lot of your fears coming through, guys, and this is good. This is really helpful. So someone's put, me too, no one in my office wears makeup. But again, that doesn't mean to say that if you feel great in makeup, you can't wear it. Someone said, my feature of focus is my eyes, but recently stopped wearing liquid eyeliner, so I seem lost. Okay, so this is Tasana. You know, I think with liquid eyeliner, it might be that you start working with an eyeshadow to do your liner, so it's that little bit softer, and you find it a little bit easier to kind of master the moves with it. So again, you know, it's not like you necessarily have to say goodbye to something you did. Maybe it's just about tweaking it. So then as well, I want you to think about the colors that make you feel good. So colors that, you know, and this might not just be makeup, guys. This might be, you know, when you're picking out, I don't know, room decor. It might be, you know, just colors you're drawn to that make you feel good. So have a think about if there's anything, you know, for some of you, it might be a bold lip. Some of you, it might be like a golden eye. You know, just start thinking about, and this can be general at first, you know, it doesn't have to be specific to makeup. Just have a think about what colors make you feel good. And then, you know, open your makeup bags for me and just have a look at what are the colors you buy more of. And have a look as well if they are more cool toned or more warm toned. That's always a really good thing to have a look at, just to see if those things are, you know, there's certain things that you find you're repeat purchasing, or you've got 7 brown eyeliners in your makeup bag. Just have a look, and again, just write it down so you've got a little idea. You know, this is just all really vital information. So now I want you to go back to your notes, and I want you to highlight keywords. So again, it might be, you know, the fears, there might be something in there you need to underline. It might be keywords in terms of professionals, looking professional at work. It might be, you know, warm tone, cool tone. It might be the colors you're attracted to. Just go over and just spend like a minute or two. So I'm going to be here just answering questions with Chatango, while you just write down some of those keywords from what we've just gone through. I love that Gem's put only 7 brown eyeliners. Yeah, okay, hear me out. And I think, you know, what I want to get across, guys, as well, is the whole concept of a capsule makeup is, you know, it's the core makeup bag that you use every day. Yes, you will obviously, you know, if you're a makeup lover, you're going to buy more lipsticks, you're going to buy more eyeliners. But today it's about making a bag that, you know, you could throw in your handbag and you can make a whole makeup from. You could take it away for a weekend and you could make 4 makeup looks from. You know, it's about having products that don't confuse you and don't kind of waste your time when you're in a rush. Okay, so we're seeing lots of neutrals, lots of warm tones. So keep writing these things down. Always get a frog in my throat when I do these workshops. Okay. So now, hopefully you've all got your makeup bags nearby. I want you to empty your makeup bag and put aside everything you never use. So if there's anything in your makeup bag you've got with you right now, I just want you to separate the things that you use on a daily basis. And then especially if there's something you never use, put that to one side. If there's something you maybe use like, you know, once in a blue moon, you can also separate that out. But just put all the stuff, especially that you don't ever use, to one side. And if anyone's already started doing their piles, let me know how many things are in the pile of stuff you never wear. Okay. So see who's got. Okay, so yeah, people are kind of mentioning the trend thing. You know, sometimes you are going to be picking up things based on trends, and that's fine. If you love that trend, that's totally cool. But with your notes now, I want you to ask yourself why you never use it. So is there a reason why you bought it? Was it because you bought something that was a trend and then you realized, actually, I don't feel comfortable wearing that trend. I felt like I had to do it to be part of the trend, but I don't feel comfortable. People said earlier that they had the fear of makeup wearing them. You know, that might be something that you've brought a product, but then you never quite felt comfortable to wear it. So ask yourself why you never use it. Okay. And, you know, you can do that with each product as well, if there's products you've left out that you never use. So like I said, I think it's time to think about what you actually need. So this is kind of the bit where, you know, we'll start creating all the information that we've kind of got from the questions we've asked ourselves, what we've gone through, and actually think about the products you need to build a capsule makeup. And like I said, you know, yes, you might be a beauty lover who will love collecting makeup and want to keep it, but in terms of the things that you actually use, you'll be able to fit into one makeup bag. And these are products that generally with 15 products or less, I believe you can make a perfect capsule makeup bag that will take you from multiple looks, so day to night, work to, you know, evening functions, special occasions, to picking the kids up from school. Everything can come out this one makeup bag. And anything else that you buy can just be for fun, or if you're like a collector. But, you know, for some women, they might find that actually they want that declutter and they want to just really kind of minimize everything so that it's easy and saves time. Someone's put, just removed all my eyeliners. Okay, so someone's put, I have a matte lipstick I never wear because I have wrinkly lips and it looks awful. Okay, so that's cool. And, you know, it's funny that a lot of you are saying you don't wear it because you think it looks awful. So it might even be that you still keep that product, but you find a new way of using it. It might just be that, and especially I think the key thing is if you're saying it doesn't make you feel good, then that's a great reason not to use it. You know, that for me is kind of how I judge my makeup on. If I try something and it doesn't make me feel good, I know it's a no-no. So the capsule makeup bag concept, like I said, I think it's just about being able to create multiple looks from one bag of makeup that are products that you will use every day, or, you know, products that you use regularly. Okay, so number one. So the first one is the primer. So this is a debatable product, and I thought about not putting this in the list, but I think a lot of people nowadays do use primers. And I know for me, I don't use it every day, but I do use it maybe like half of the week. And especially when my skin is playing up, that's when I need a primer. And I've mentioned primer because, again, we all have different skin needs. And I think when your skincare is kind of really on point, that's when your makeup looks great. So having a primer that's really tailored to you. So like I said, having something that, you know, if you have enlarged pores, you want something like, for example, the Benefit Pore Professional. If you're looking for hydration, you might need a Laura Mercier hydrating primer. You know, it's really helping you target and do kind of hone in on the things that your skin still needs pre-makeup application. So for me, a primer is the first thing. The second thing is a base. Now, I recommend, if it's your capsule makeup bag, aiming for something that is buildable. So I always recommend people, where possible, go for a foundation that is buildable. If, however, like we were talking earlier about the natural, your idea of a natural makeup look, you might say, well, Harry, I never want coverage. I just want something that slightly evens out and blurs perfections. Go for a tinted moisturizer. You know, use the questions that we did earlier to figure out what it is that you will actually use and need. Again, if you feel like a high coverage foundation makes you feel uncomfortable and is too covering, oh, aeroplane going over, then don't use a high coverage foundation. You know straight away that the base you're going to wear, even for evening, is probably a tinted moisturizer. So, you know, just kind of have a think about what it is that makes you feel comfortable, but also you want to use this to address your skin's needs. So again, you want to be looking for keywords, guys. If you have super oily skin, the chances are you're going to want a matte foundation. So look for something that is mattifying, you know, that perhaps gives hydration without being dewy. You want to look for things that are you know, comfortable on the skin, but also addressing your skincare's needs. So it's that thing of, you know, again, if you have very, very dry skin, you don't want a matte foundation. That's going to do the exact opposite and draw attention to any dryness on the skin. So, you know, if you have dry skin, go for something very hydrating, very moisturizing. Even the kind of formulas you're going to choose, guys, will differ depending on your skincare's needs. So, for example, you know, you might want a cream foundation if you have very dry skin. You might want something that is moussey, or even to the touch. You know, test things out in the shop and play with them and kind of have a feel what they feel like on your skin, so you can feel how it's going to feel on your face. And you can always ask for a little tester pot if possible. So someone's put, how do I know if a base is buildable? Quite simply, put one kind of thin layer on your hand, see how that looks. And then if you put another layer on and you get a little bit more opaque coverage, you know it's buildable. If it still keeps shearing out and doesn't really ever build, then it's not buildable. So you just want to make sure you're kind of opting for something. I think with the buildable idea, it just means you can take the same base from morning to evening very easily, and you've got a bit more flexibility on the coverage you get. So first thing to think about is your coverage. The second thing to think about is whether or not it's got the right ingredients for your skin tone, your skin type, and it's going to actually be helping your skin type as opposed to working against it. So someone said, would you recommend Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer? Absolutely. I use those loads in my kit. Again, Laura Mercier is very good at kind of specializing in every skin type, from looking for radiance, looking for oil-free, looking to hydration. There's some really, really good ones on option from her. And again, great color range. And you also want to think about your tone as well. So your skin tone with your base. So are you neutral, cool toned, or warm tone? And there's a very easy way to find this out, guys. So anyone who's been in my workshops before will have heard me do this. So take your fist and you want to clench your fist a little bit. So just do a little like fist bump. And then look at the color of your veins. So just by kind of squeezing your fist should make the veins appear a little bit more. So if you have a green tone vein, you're often more warmer. And if you have a blue tone vein, you're more cool. If you have both, you're neutral. Okay, so that will help you kind of determine the foundation tones you need. And some brands will say, oh, most of our foundations are more yellow based, which is, again, even YSL, I think, has now like golden, beige and pink and neutral. So it can get confusing, but just ask at a counter whether their undertones are neutral, warm or cool. Okay. So the next thing is concealer. And again, I think you want to look for a concealer that is kind of multitasking. So there are some concealers that I recommend, you know, just for covering breakouts or spots. There are some concealers I recommend just for dark circles. But for the sake of a capsule makeup bag and, you know, saving time, I think you want something that does a bit of everything. So for me, I really recommend the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I find that's quite a good multitasker. The Estee Lauder Double Wear, the high coverage one in the round circle, is really, really good. That is great for under eyes, and it's kind of hard enough to cover breakouts as well. So just think about the formula. But again, like we said, if you have super dry skin, you're always going to need something that's a little bit more emollient. So for you, you might need something like the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. You might need something like the Clarins one that's a little bit more liquidy. So just think about what your skin's needs are as well with relevance to the concealer. So any recommendations for hydrating concealer under the eyes? Yeah, I think the Clarins one is beautiful. That one is very, very hydrating and very nice. So the next thing is a powder, and I think you can totally get away with a capsule makeup bag just having one powder. And I really, really love the formulations that have, they call them translucent, but they're often like a white invisible powder. So they look white in the pan like this Laura Mercier one, but once you swipe it and blend it into the skin, it kind of becomes invisible. And I've even used this one on black skin and it's been fine. And I really love it for TV, for red carpet. And the reason I say get like a translucent one or an invisi powder is, you know, you're going to go on holiday, guys. You're going to be in the sun and your skin's going to change. And rather than have to keep buying more powders throughout the year, it's always easier to have one that's like an invisi powder. It's just that little bit easier. And I also find it sets concealer really well under the eyes without kind of changing the color of your concealer. So yeah, and I love it when you guys start recommending things to each other in the Tango group. It's so cool. So a few people are saying Bobbi Brown concealer is great for dry skin, and yeah, totally agree. I love that in my kit for dry skin. Okay, so that's the powder. Now a blush. I think blush is one of those products that can instantly make you feel well rested. A lot of you guys were saying, you know, I want to look awake, not tired. I want to look refreshed. For me, blusher is like a key item, and finding the right blush, I think, you know, there are so many different types on the market. So for some of you, it might be cream blush. For some of you, it might be a powder. I think cream blush is great when you're in a rush and it's very quick. Again, it's very good if you have super dry skin because it's not going to kind of catch the way maybe a powder will. And it's more hydrating. I think if you have very oily skin, you obviously want to go for more of a powder blush. And I always think anything in the kind of peach or pink family is very, very universally flattering. So pinks, I think, again, if you have a darker skin tone, you want to go for more of a like a magenta-y pink or like a sort of raisin pink, something with a lot more intensity in the tone. So the darker your skin tone, just build on the intensity a little bit more. But yeah, a good blush. And you know, the great thing is, guys, I feel like blush is one of those things you can get for super affordable. Like the drugstore is really on it with great blushes. So, you know, the whole point of this workshop as well, it's not about having to spend loads of money on new products. You know, it might be just looking through what you already own. So like the Bourjois round pot blushes are amazing. The Max Factor ones are incredible. And a lot of these have like slight kind of lighted particles in them. So they almost naturally highlight a little bit too. So someone's put, is translucent powder good for pictures? Does it flash back? As long as you're not using, so I'm going to come to a point later about the brush that I think as long as with translucent powder, you're never using too much. As soon as it catches in any kind of baby hairs, that's when it creates flashback. So if in doubt, powder, and then just use a brush with no product on and kind of go over the skin so that you make sure the kind of powder is super well buffed in. Okay. So the next product, and if you can get it as a duo, I really think it helps you kind of save space in your makeup bag, and it's just an easier, quicker step, is a contour highlight powder. Now, I think use the word contour with a pinch of salt, because I don't think a contour has to be, you know, a dark grey colour that is used. You know, forget clown contouring, unless that's what you're really into and you really enjoy it. I think contouring, you know, is really just about mimicking the shadows in the facial architecture. You know, it doesn't have to be about creating, you know, you don't have to be trying to emulate Kim Kardashian every time. So with a kind of contour highlight, if the thought of contour scares you, opt for something with a little bit more bronze in it. So something like the Charlotte Tilbury one is great. It's the right-sided kind of a bronzy contour without being too grey. And again, if you have a darker skin tone, you just want to go for a slightly darker shade with your Sculpt or kind of contour or bronze powder. I love someone's just put on the chat, when I think of a blush, I always remember Bridget Jones in that yellow dress blush drama. Yeah, I remember that scene. That's a great scene. So yeah, I think a good contour highlight, again, you know, the highlight is just going to kind of add definition to your, the contour is going to add definition to your skin, and just, you know, again, really emphasize the nice features that are already in your face shape. So, you know, it might be inside the eye and the socket, it might be the temples, it might be under the neck, and the highlight is going to bring forward. So the highlight is always going to show off those areas. So, and it always works really well when it's next to a contour. So, and again, with the kind of contour highlight, you don't have to use a powder, you could use a cream. So these are just kind of the examples. And then remember to always refer back to the things we wrote down earlier, and, you know, addressing your skin type and seeing what kind of product is going to be the right one for you, especially whether that's cream or powder. So the next one, guys, is an eye base. Now, I wasn't sure, again, whether or not I was definitely going to include that in the capsule makeup bag, but I actually think when I look at my own makeup, that is something that I still use all the time, because especially if I'm not wearing any eyeshadow, I feel like I just need an eye base just to smooth out the eye area a little bit, just to make, you know, we were talking earlier about the kind of effortless polish look, and that's where I feel an eye primer is great. So the NARS Smudge Proof Pro Prime, I think it's called, is a great one if you do wear a lot of different colors on your eyes, or you like to layer shadows. That's a great one. But two I recommend massively for, again, creating daytime and evening looks are the MAC Paint Pot and Groundwork is incredible, and Laura Mercier do a great product called Eye Basics, which is actually kind of like, I guess, like an eye cream. So it's almost like a concealer for your eyelid, but it doesn't crease the way a concealer would, and it dries down matte, and they do those in all different skin tones. So they are brilliant for kind of counteracting any veins on the eyelid, any fatigue in the eye, same way Groundwork does, but Groundwork definitely gives a little bit more of a deeper pigment. However, Groundwork is a lovely one that actually kind of changes tone on lots of different skin tones, which I really like. So I think having a good eye base is kind of an essential part of a capsule makeup bag. And if you find one you love, I would definitely add that. Okay, so there's a few questions coming in about specific makeup steps, but I'm definitely going to answer all those in the Q&A in a bit. So I'll come back to those. So again, for anyone who is an eyeshadow fiend, and by that I mean you collect and hoard eyeshadows in every color and every palette, and every time a nude palette comes out you get excited. I'm not gonna lie, I'm the same person. I definitely feel like for your capsule makeup bag, you can do it with one palette. So if you never ever wear blue eyeshadow, you're never going to wear a red eyeshadow, or I don't know, a sparkly violet, then you don't need to get an eyeshadow palette with all different colors in. It might be something like the Naked palette by Urban Decay. It might be something like the Tartelette palette. You know, you might just want one great neutrals palette. If you're like me and you like generally neutral tones, but you know you might want a little bit of variation, I really recommend the Lorac Pro palette. It weighs hardly anything, and the quality of shadows is amazing. And I think, you know, with that, what I would recommend is, unless you only ever wear mattes, and, you know, then obviously, you know, you're just going to want mattes, but I really think having a mix of mattes and shimmers is really helpful as well, because the mattes are always going to help you kind of do the groundwork of, you know, building the definition in your eye, and you can add the shimmer in for kind of interesting tone. But, you know, I still love eye looks that are just all matte or just all shimmers, so there's no kind of specific rule, but I definitely think if you can get it down to one eye palette and actually think about the colors that you know you can create multiple looks from, that's the palette you want to add into your capsule makeup bag. Okay. So brow product, again, I feel like some of us may use more than one brow product, and that's fine, but I definitely think, you know, honing it down to one multi-purpose product is incredibly helpful, and I'm totally guilty of this. I'm always looking for like the perfect brow product, and really the one I always go back to is the NYX Micro Brow, because it has a spoolie on the end, and I know it's nice and easy for me to use. I can add very much specific definition where I want it. So, you know, choose an eyebrow product that, again, you know, is easy to use, is pretty fail-safe, long-lasting. It doesn't have to be something that, again, is like trend-inspired. It doesn't have to be a pomade. If you fear, you know, like mad the idea of a brow pomade, don't use one. It might even be as simple as a clear brow gel, guys. So just don't feel it has to be kind of what the trends are saying everyone's wearing. You know, think about what makes your brows look good, that make you feel good. Kohl pencils, I feel like the Victoria Beckham capsule collection that she created really like nailed this. So she did the pencil, I think it was just called the Duo Kohl, but it basically had like a skin tone one on one end and the black kohl on the other end. Now, the reason something like this is great, again, it's a time saver, but also having a nude kohl, I think, in your capsule makeup bag is great for days when you're super tired. If you're maybe hungover, you've had no sleep, a nude kohl is just perfect. It's also great for any ladies who have very small eyes and want to open the eye up more. Use your nude kohl in the waterline and it will be amazing. Just really opens the eye up. But also, by the same token, having a black kohl is great for tight lining. It's also great as well for, you know, maybe you do a daytime look and then you're like, right, I want to take up my look to an evening makeup super quickly. Just get that black kohl, put it in the bottom lash line and smudge it out, and it will be amazing. Like, it's just instantly changes your look. You know, again, you could draw a kind of smudgy flick with this. You can make a smoky eye very, very quickly. And for me, I feel like they're the only kind of two kohls you'd sort of need. If you hate black, opt for something softer like a brown or a grey. So one dark kohl and one kind of nude tone kohl. And for anyone who's looking for affordable nude tone kohls, NYX actually do one for different skin tones as well, which is really great at an affordable price. Now, the next one, again, not everyone will have this in their bag. The next one is liquid liner. Now, I've included this because I feel like, for me, my kind of comfort level is a flick. So I like having the option of a liquid liner. I know a lot of people do love liquid liner because they make it can feel quite, what's the word, can be quite polished, you know, quite kind of glamorous quickly. Some people wear a liquid liner for work maybe every day without kind of flicking it out or doing a thick line. So I think a liquid liner is a really good tool to invest in. However, if you know you hate the look of liquid liner, skip this step. I love the Tom Ford one, but also KOHL does amazingly good quality ones that are incredible for a very low price point. So, you know, don't think so much about the brand with this, guys. This is just kind of examples of the actual products for a capsule makeup bag. Mascara, I think it goes without saying, is kind of an essential, unless, again, you're feeling very trend-inspired and loving a no mascara look, which I have been recently. I think mascara, you know, you can literally have like a nice clean skin, mascara and a lip gloss and you're done. Like, it can be such a time saver and, again, open up the eyes. It's so, so good. And I really feel like finding the right mascara is key because, as you guys may or may not know, I have awful panda eyes. So many mascaras run on me. So many mascaras end up kind of under the bit where I get put concealer by the end of the day. And, you know, for me, I found that Japanese mascaras work really well, in particular the Fairy Drops ones. I think Clinique do one called Power Lash or something that's a very thin brush. That's the only kind of mainstream brand one that's worked well for me. So find a mascara that works for you and test it out. I do think as well, Max Factor do really affordable mascaras, as do Maybelline. But, you know, finding the right mascara is kind of like a holy grail mission, I think. So lip pencil wise, I think, again, the whole capsule makeup idea, I think really you just need one great skin tone, great kind of lip tone. So whatever mimics the natural tone of your lip, just for adding the slightest bit of shape and definition. For me, it's Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. Again, Bobbi Brown does amazing ones. MAC does amazing ones. It's so, so good. I think just having something that you can just add a little bit of shape, a little bit of definition, again, can take you from a very day makeup look to a very polished, maybe office look or evening look very, very quickly. And even if you're doing a red lip, you know, you can do it over the top of this and just map out the shape. So for a capsule makeup bag, I would say you need one lip pencil that matches the tone of your lips naturally. Okay. So neutral nude lipstick. Now, again, the formula will depend on different things. For me, I actually really like something that's more of a balm texture, especially when I'm kind of in a rush or, you know, I can't be bothered. I feel like for me, the Clarins Instant Light lip perfectors just tick every single box. They're so, so good. I feel like, you know, I know my lips are getting kind of the care they need. They're going to be moisturized, and also they'll look pretty, and it kind of gives a little bit more fullness as well, which is really nice. So that is one thing I would say to select. It doesn't have to be this kind of formula. It could be just your favorite neutral lipstick, something that again is quite close to the natural color of your lips, which will go with everything, but is great for, you know, to go with a smoky eye when you want to play up the eyes, or great for a day look when you just want your lips to look nourished. And I do think if you're someone, again, this won't apply to you if you hate bold lipsticks, then skip this step. But if you're someone that likes that feeling of how different you look when you add a bold lip, having one great bold lipstick that you know makes you feel amazing, I think is a great thing to include in a capsule makeup bag. That might be a red, it might be a pink, it might be an orange, it might be, you know, like an oxblood red or something burgundy. Again, I don't think it has to be trend-led. It can be what makes you feel great and complements your skin tone. A great bold lipstick, again, can instantly transform your look, guys. So it's such a good part of the capsule makeup bag. So one thing I want to suggest as well, because this is something that I do regularly, is, you know, the power of multiples is really important, especially when you're doing, you know, a capsule makeup bag, or perhaps makeup pieces you're going to put in your bag to take to work with you. I really think multiples are amazing and game-changing at kind of like editing down your makeup bag. So there might be things I've even just shown you in the list that you feel, actually, I won't need this, I won't need that, because I've got a multiple palette that has 6 of those products in. And that's brilliant. If you found that, then great. One that I absolutely love, and I really feel like I'm not getting commission for it, but I wish I was. I mean, I'm not being sponsored to mention it, but I really wish I was, because I would make a lot of money, because I tell everyone about it, is the Charlotte Tilbury Natural Look in a Palette. I like I can't remember what it's called, the new one she's done I like, but I think the first one she did is just perfect. So the one I'm showing you now with the eye brighten, eye enhance, eye smoke, the cheek, the face, and the highlight. I mean, you can literally have this, like a concealer, a foundation, a mascara, and a lip thing, and you're good to go. Like, it's such a good product, and I think the shape's great. The products aren't so small that you can't really use them. So the power of a multiple is also good as well, guys, for a capsule makeup bag. And, you know, you might find you get your makeup bag down to like 7 pieces if you have something like this. World Duty Free also has great options of these, especially when you're traveling to the airport. Check out, like, you know, they do lots of these kind of like travel friendly kits. NARS multiple sticks are great for like eyes and lips. Bobbi Brown lip and cheek pots, you know, Pot Rouge are great. So don't forget about the power of multiples. So generally, I would say, for a great capsule makeup bag that you will use every day and love every single product in that bag and feel great with every product in that bag, you can do it in 15 products or less. So that's the challenge. I feel like 15 products or less, irrelevant of what you have as your makeup collection in your bathroom, or perhaps things that, you know, are just pieces you like to own, to keep in an actual makeup bag that you use every day and, you know, you could pick up, run out the door and have everything you need. I think you can do it in 15 products or less. So so I'm not sure why you came here today, guys. I'm hoping that it was to, you know, find your makeup style and feel good about makeup, and just get some of those questions answered that you wanted about, you know, like I said, sort of looking at why you're in a makeup rut and what it is that's been stopping you, holding you back. Maybe it is those fears about, I want to wear red lipstick, Harry, but I'm not sure. And it's so great. I'm looking at the chat now, guys, and all of you are like chatting with each other, which is brilliant. And I love that sense of community. And we do have a Harry Makes Up VIP Facebook group as well. So make sure you join that after the webinar. It's just Harry Makes Up VIPs, I think. You can go to that. I'll pop a link somewhere. So yeah, I just want to reiterate that from today, you're in the right place if you want practical advice, actionable steps, and to get makeup savvy and know your style, because I think it's about implementing these steps, like things like the multiples, things about kind of really reading ingredients, guys, as well, when you're in the shops. You know, like I said, if matte makeup is the trend right now and you want, you know, the new NARS foundation is matte and everyone's wearing it, if it's not going to work well on your skin, don't buy it. Don't be sucked into the hype. It's about knowing what works for you. And, you know, some of the products I buy are things that, you know, I've repurchased year after year after year that aren't trendy products, but I just know they work well for me. And everything I've told you, you know, they're tips and tricks you can use now. So they're things that you can literally implement from today. You know, think about the makeup that you put to one side. If you never use it because it doesn't make you feel great, give it to a friend, you know, give it to someone else who will love it. If it's something that you think, well, it's not that it doesn't make me feel great, Harry, but I'm just scared to use it. Maybe it is a red lipstick. Try wearing it around the house on your own. I really feel like with makeup, it's about you getting to feel comfortable with it. And for example, with red lips, this is just an example. It could apply to a smoky eye or, I don't know, a blue eyeshadow. Try wearing it 3 times around the house on your own. If after 3 times you still feel like, I still don't feel good in this, I'm never going to feel good in it, then let it go. It's just not for you, and that's okay. There'll be something else that makes you feel great. But it might take 2 times of wearing it to be like, I feel good in a red lip. I like this. So, you know, just give it time, and I think that's important. So where do you go from here? What's next? I think that's what probably a lot of you guys want to know. So you have 2 options, the way I see it. So, you know, you might have taken quite a few things out of your makeup bag now and actually kind of want to go and maybe find some things that are right for you that maybe you don't have. Maybe there's things that you feel like, oh, okay, I don't actually have a primer that works well for me. My base is wrong for me. I need to do, you know, a little bit of shop. So again, prioritize what it is that you actually need. You know, but be careful when you go to, especially kind of the beauty stores and stuff like that. You know, you could risk overpaying for products you don't need from beauty sales assistants who want you to buy everything on the beauty counter. So just remember as well, they are working for a company and they want to sell and they have margins and they have, you know, targets they have to meet. So, you know, if they're trying to make you buy the brush that goes with every eyeshadow and the brush for the foundation, just think about what you actually need, guys. So, you know, be makeup savvy, be smart, know that you went in for a foundation, that's what you're going to come away with. So, you know, the other thing is you can go it alone and spend hours reading the internet, taking expensive courses. I know there's a lot of big makeup courses on the market now that are well over £1,000. Risk someone telling you how you should look. And I think that's the other thing I'm hoping you learn from today, that it's about what makes you feel great. You know, someone might tell you what suits you, irrelevant to what makes you feel good. You know, if a red lip would look amazing on you because someone keeps telling you, but you know you just don't like it and you don't feel comfortable, you need to be able to say, oh, I love that look on other people, but for me, that's not what makes me feel great. You know, it might be something different. So you know how you want to look, you're ready to keep learning, and you want to find a source you can trust. So you can get my step-by-step program that will guide you every step of the way. And that's what I wanted to create, guys. I've wanted for so long to make sure I have something that really is step-by-step. And if something's not there, you guys can tell me how to improve it, how to make it completely step-by-step. So step-by-step trainings on how to put what we've talked about today into action. Like I said, I am a celebrity makeup artist with over 10 years experience, and everything I've learned, I want to share with you guys to make it easier for you. You want something that makes things super easy. So, you know, again, no time wasting. It's about finding things that are right for you and you personally, not what your best friend says is amazing for her or the sales assistant says is amazing. It's about knowing what's right for you. So for anyone who doesn't know, I have an e-course called All About That Base, where I go into every single detail about the base makeup, because I really feel like the base is the essential starting point of amazing makeup. So, you know, we've kind of highlighted a few things today, but this is such an in-depth course with 4 modules. We look at everything from kind of choosing the right foundation, the color, the texture, the skin tone, finding your skin tone. You know, people ask about contouring and things like that. We go over that in so much depth, and, you know, even how to pick out the exact skincare ingredients that are right for you. Everything is in this course. And, you know, for me, I'm really passionate about it because I feel like even the students that have done it have said, you know, they've spent money on professional makeup artists coming to do a lesson, and they've learned more in my course than they did having, you know, a professional makeup artist come and do their makeup for them. And, you know, for me, it's about becoming the master of your own makeup. I feel like every person, you know, that I meet has the potential to create beautiful makeup. It's not, you know, I wasn't born amazing at makeup artists. I had amazing at doing makeup. I had to learn. And I think it's just about practice and knowing the right steps, the right tools. And I do think, you know, you can become the master of your own makeup. So I want to show you around as well for anyone who is interested in the course. I'm going to give you a little kind of like guided thing of how it looks. So basically, once you're in the course, so it'll look like this, and it's all online. And the best thing about the course is you have access to it forever. So literally forever. If there are any updates to the course, the next time you log in, those updates automatically show. So anything that's updated as the course progresses, you will always have access to. You can use it on your iPad, your phone, you can use it on your laptop. And like I said, just permanent access to it whenever. And basically it will show you here where how much of the course is completed. It will have your curriculum, a little bit about me, and basically you literally just do kind of click through, and you can click backwards and forwards. So it's very, very easy to navigate. So we have the modules. So the first module is all about skincare, guys. So this is how to choose skincare that's right for you. I go into depth about treatments, what do you need, and also primers. You know, a lot of you guys were asking about primers today. This is kind of like a really in-depth overview about primers. So silicone versus water-based, you know, everything that is going to tailor to perhaps you have acne-prone skin and you want to know the products that are going to not affect your acne, you know, work at kind of helping improve the condition of your skin and scarring, for example. So lesson 2, the second module, is all about understanding foundations and finding your perfect match. So we go into in-depth review over choosing the right foundations, the type and texture, finding your perfect foundation shade, and how to apply your foundation like a pro, you know, the tips and tricks that I do, like I said, for red carpet. Section 3 is all about concealing. So this is literally concealing like a pro, concealing dark under eye circles. I know a lot of you guys are asking about this. Also covering redness, so acne and blemishes. There's so much in-depth information, and you know, I've tried to do it so that most of the learning is through exclusive videos, and anything you see on this course, you know, this is exclusive to the course. It's material that was designed for this course. So as well as there being some videos in here that have appeared on my channel, I think there's over 14 brand new exclusive videos just for the course. So, you know, and it's great, you know, you're not going to have adverts or anything like that on there, guys. It's literally just on the course and you get stuck in. Lesson 4 is adding shape and color to the face. So again, this is going to answer all your questions about contouring and highlighting. You know, it's about adding color to the face, and also the finishing touches. You know, a lot of questions I get asked is how I make my makeup last. How do I take it from day to night? You know, how do I ensure that my makeup isn't going to slide all over the place? And again, you know, knowing the products that are going to help you make it last, that work with your skin tone. So that's the 4 modules. And like I said, I can show you a little bit more. So for example, when you're taking a lesson, you'll have your kind of like index down the side, which will show you the other. You can skip backwards and forwards to a lesson if you feel like, oh, I want to rewatch that again. And that's the beauty of it. You can keep rewatching it, rewatch the video trainings. You know, you can kind of take the info when you go makeup shopping and be like, okay, I know I need this ingredient, I know I need that ingredient. So it's so specific to you. So you'll have video trainings here, pardon me, as well as text-based learning with images. But like I said, the kind of area that I really hone in on is the video trainings. But everything you need to know about ingredients, etc., that is all in the course as well. And then I've got a few testimonials here from some of our lovely students. So Anya said, all about that base made me rethink my whole routine and showed some very easy ways to perfect that skin-like, fresh and healthy looking base I always wanted. Hanyi, who is one of my students, said, all about that base is a professional makeup course for complete beginners through to those wanting to learn professional makeup techniques. Having previously paid £200 in the past for a 2-hour one-to-one makeup session, I can honestly say I've learned more about skincare and achieving a flawless base in this course. Thank you, Harry, for sharing your pearls of wisdom with us. I look forward to the next course, which is very lovely. And then I have Kate put, all about that base helped me step-by-step regain my confidence with makeup. The video trainings helped me practice the basics and become confident in understanding my skin's needs and how to create the foundations of great makeup. So all the things that I want my course to do, that's the, you know, these are the things that I really want my course to get across. It's about helping people and helping them find what's right for them. So like I said, there is a little gift I have today for you guys that I want to mention. So there's a limited time bonus. So for anyone who buys the course today, you will also get a copy of my new e-course. the 4 makeup looks you need for any occasion. So it's kind of like an extension of what we've done today. It's a new e-course I have, a kind of short e-course. It's kind of like a makeup wardrobe of like 4 key looks that you can adapt that will literally suit every occasion. Every occasion you can imagine, those 4 videos will have you sorted and, you know, give you ideas how to tweak, etc., to take one look into a completely different look. You will also get a copy of this webinar to keep because this webinar was private. And you will also receive a 25% discount coupon for the Modern Bride e-course. So these limited time bonuses are going to be available till the end of the Q&A today. So we're going to have a live Q&A in a minute, and these bonuses will be available to the end of the Q&A. Okay. So I just want to kind of reiterate, not everyone can afford a professional, but with this course, you won't need one. So you're going to learn the tips and tricks that have taken me years to master. So I'm just going to share, you know, I've made the makeup mistakes so that you guys don't have to. And these are steps that I use my red carpet clients and when I'm shooting magazine covers. You know, this is the exact way I do makeup. So all about that course costs $79. My course at London College of Fashion when I was first starting out as a makeup artist, granted it was quite a long time ago, cost me about £1,500 a year. And I think now that's something like £3,000 to £6,000 a year. It's a lot of money. A private lesson with a makeup artist can cost in excess of £200. So, you know, I want you guys to know that I'm really giving you professional advice here, and I want it to be affordable and relatable to everyone. So the fast action bonuses, they are available to the end of this webinar Q&A. So I'll show you as well how the kind of checkout bit works for anyone who's unsure how to go about this. So you click below to order now, and you receive the limited time bonuses as well. The limited time bonuses will come through to you tomorrow. You get access to the course immediately. So basically you go to the checkout page. So there's a button on the webinar you can click that says purchase, buy now. And it will take you to the checkout page. On some people's browsers, it may take them to the page with a little icon and it will just say add now or add to cart, which you can do, and then go to the checkout and then you just pay, and you can do it with credit card, PayPal. It's very easy. And like I said, you'll get instant access to the course and be able to enroll. So maybe you've got some questions still. Maybe you're asking yourself right now, I'm interested, but is it worth it? What if I'm too busy? Will it work if I want to become a professional makeup artist? Maybe some of you here are interested in becoming a professional makeup artist. So what I want to say is, I think, you know, you have to think about how much time it would take you if you were to sit and browse every single video that was applicable to you on YouTube, on the internet, to find everything you needed that you could get in my course with instant access to. And I think, again, you just have to look at what you would have to pay to do, you know, a course in person and how many weeks you'd have to give up to do that. Think about, you know, if you were to have a makeup lesson with a professional that maybe you don't know their background, you don't know what they can do, you know, and risk not being satisfied, or going to a salesperson, having them try and sell you the entirety of one brand of makeup, which maybe you don't need, maybe you just went in for a foundation. So, you know, for me, I think it's totally worth it. And I've tried to make it, you know, super high value for an affordable price. What if I'm too busy? The great thing with the course is you have access to it forever. So if you are someone that wants to dip in and out of it, you totally can do. There's no time limit on when you have to do the lessons by. It will show you your progress. And I've designed the course so you could do it in 30 days. I have students that have done it in quicker time. But like I said, it is totally doable in a shorter time frame, a longer time frame or shorter time frame. It's up to you. And for anyone who's looking at becoming a professional makeup artist, I think this course is super high value. And again, you know, for me, the base is the essential part of being a great makeup artist. If you can't do a good base, I think you'd struggle as a makeup artist. So I really highly recommend this course, even for people who are perhaps starting out as a makeup artist or looking to get into it, or perhaps you're looking to refresh your skills. There's some great professional advice in here too. So don't miss out on the fast action bonuses. Let's have a Q&A now. So I'm going to answer all your questions, and let me know if there's anything else you want to know about the course. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And like I said, if there's something that you feel like you want to know about within the, you know, you see the course and you're like, oh, I've got a question about mineral makeup, for example. I had one student that wanted to know more about mineral makeup, so I made sure I added that to the course. So, you know, you guys can let me know if there's something else you want to know about. So yeah, let's have a Q&A. Let's have you ask some questions, guys. So I'm on the Chatango, ready. And let's see what questions come in. So So I'm excited to answer your questions. Okay. Okay, so we've got a few questions here. So Sana says, my main concern is covering dark circles. I've tried everything, nothing seems to work. So I feel like, Sana, the trick with dark circles is, again, about knowing what your skin type is. So if your skin type, it could be that it's over oily under your eyelids, under your eyes, and that's perhaps why product's not sitting there. So again, there's different techniques in the course I could tell you about that will help kind of even out under the eye area, and products that you can layer. And it's not about adding more, it's about kind of using, you know, minimal product but with high coverage, and using it in specific areas and layering it in a very effective way, so that it actually layers without kind of caking under the eye. Hi Harry, have you tried L'Oreal Lumi Magic Cushion Foundation? That's from Heather. No, I plan to though. I've got that on my list of things to try. I want to do a kind of proper drugstore, American favorites drugstore video soon. So Anon has put, when I put off lipstick, I find it emphasize any redness. Oh, is that when I put, it says, when I put off lipstick, I find emphasizing redness in my face. Why is this? So I don't know if that was meant to say when I put red lipstick or a different color lipstick. I mean, I think if it's emphasizing redness in your face, you just want to look at your undertone, which again, we go into fully in all about that base. But also it might just be that you need to add a little bit more concealer just on those on the areas of redness, just so it doesn't draw attention to a lipstick. Lots of emojis. So someone's put, what color eyeshadow would you recommend to make green eyes pop? So I love, again, the reddy tones, the kind of cranberries, the rusty browns, golds look amazing, and also purples. So that doesn't mean you have to wear a super intense purple. It could just be a purple pencil liner, looks amazing. Really super lovely. So puffed and dark under eye circles, how to deal with this, how to conceal puffiness and reduce darkness. So again, these are things I go into in the course, and I feel like, you know, really, really in-depth tips. But generally for under eye circles, the first thing you want to do as well, again, is look at your skincare. You know, you might need a more intense eye cream with a bit of retinol in there or something like that. And also you can even make green tea ice cubes. So you just boil green tea, pop them into an ice cube tray, pop them in the freezer, and then wrap them in a muslin cloth. And that's a really great way just to kind of take down any of the puffiness around the eyes. Also with puffy eyes, guys, you know, sometimes it can be hereditary. You know, I think a lot of people actually have kind of puffiness under the eye that isn't fatigue, it's just kind of hereditary, where maybe there is a little bit more liquid in the under eye area. But with that, you know, it's just about kind of using the trickery of the light and using techniques that diffuse the light in those shadowy areas, which again we go into in the course. Let's have a look. Set concealer, you have to set it more powder, which dries up the skin even more. Yeah, so people are saying, you know, they've tried setting with concealer with more powder, and then it gets patchy. And again, I think it's kind of knowing the right powders to use, and the technique, you know, using a smaller, more precise brush is always a good tip as well. So I'm going to come back off of the screen share as well now, so hopefully you guys will be able to see me. So I'm going to come back so you can see my face. Hello. So I've got your questions here, and I'm going to set a timer as well for the Q&A. So the timer will end in, so we're going to do 10 minutes of Q&A. So it's going to end, the timer will end in 10 minutes for the fast action bonuses. So get those now if you want to receive those. So someone said, who has been your favorite person to apply makeup onto and why? I always say Joanna Lumley. Anyone who watches Ab Fab will know she's a babe, and I love her. How do I pick the right primer for my foundation? I mean, the first thing to do as well is test a couple out. I think that's a really good thing to do, is just test a couple, make sure you are actually putting it onto your face, not your hands, so you can see how it wears. And you always want to test them with a bit of foundation on as well to see if it helps the longevity. So think about the things we wrote down today. Think about the things that we said with your skin's needs, you know, what kind of job you have. You know, are you working somewhere where it's in a hot kitchen? So you know you're going to need a primer that really locks it in and is much more long lasting. Also, you know, finding a primer, you know, it's about what your skin's needs are. So are you trying to cover pores? Are you trying to add hydration or mattify? And it's looking for those keywords as well in your primer. You're welcome. And then someone said, do you have any bronzers that you recommend for super pale people? My current foundation is Urban Decay Naked 0.5. I've tried several, no matter how light a hand I use, they all made me look orange. Body Shop does some really affordable super pale bronzers. You'll be pleased to hear as well, Hoola have just brought out Hoola Light, which is a lighter bronzer of their original Hoola, which is very nice. Pale Gulan does a really extensive range of bronzers that are great for all different skin tones, so I hope that helps. Someone said, I have a hard time spot covering rosacea flare-up spots without having it look cakey or having it wear off within the hour. Hi, Daisy. So again, that is something we go very in depth to in the course, because I think a lot of people who suffer with acne, you know, they want to, you know, they want to feel like they can give a bit of, what's the right word, a bit of uniformity back to their skin. So, you know, just making it all look one nice even tone. And I think for me, again, it's about the right products and about, you know, also the skincare you're using. So you feel like you're actually giving to your skin rather than putting more product on and aggravating the acne. So definitely spot concealing is great using a smaller brush. And, you know, I love the Vichy Derma Blend. They are incredible. As is the Kevin Aquan Central Skin Enhancer is a great product. Hi, Harry, any tips of using dark eyeshadows to make it natural? What do you mean, Dita? Any tips of using dark eyeshadows to make it natural? I mean, not sure if I understand your question, but if you mean just how to make a natural look with dark eyeshadows, I would definitely use the dark eyeshadow along the lash line. I find that's a really good way, is having it along the lash line and just kind of like softly smoked is nice. Then you can just have a bit of mascara and that looks nice for daytime. What are the main differences between US and UK makeup and beauty trends? That's from Heather. Very interesting, Heather. You know, I think, guys, there's such a mix of, there's like two types of makeup I feel at the minute. There's what everyone kind of knows is like Instagram makeup. And then I'd hope kind of the makeup that I like to do on people, which is about kind of emphasizing their natural beauty and it being somewhat effortless, even if it is kind of a big smoky eye. That's not to say my way is right or better. It's just two different ways, and that's fine. So one thing I've definitely noticed, for example, I was at a benefit event recently, and just between us guys, there was a lot of, you know, full-on makeup and highlighters from across the room that almost look grey. And I'm not judging that, you know, it's just different. But I definitely am noticing that is like a trend in makeup, is very heavy makeup that is, you know, almost was created originally for like soft focus lighting for TV. So it's interesting. I do see a lot of that. And like I said, no judgment on it. I just notice it's something that some people really enjoy. So I can use more of my dark eyeshadows every day, like in the office. This is Dita. Yes, I definitely think you can. I think if you're using them as like a liner, or even just using like a pencil brush, dipping in a dark shadow along the lash line, and then just adding some mascara. So you've got maybe an eye base on underneath, there's no dark eyeshadow all over, just in the lash line. That's a great way. Love your top, Harry. Love the colours. Thank you. It says, did you ever have to throw away makeup from your pro bag? What was the reason for that? Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, you know, I'm kind of using makeup quite quickly, probably more quickly than a lot of other people do. So a lot of stuff actually just runs out, which is why it gets thrown away. I've had foundation smash in my bag, which has been very saddening. My Giorgio Armani ones, I remember going to a shoot abroad and I actually opened my suitcase, and luckily they were in a Muji vanity case, but 3 of my Giorgio Armani foundations had completely like exploded glass all over it, and I could see the foundation was like in the zip. So I knew before I opened the bag it was gonna be like a makeup explosion. So yeah, again, if anything ever smells weird, I throw it away. I feel like smell is a big indicator. So could you recommend a good under eye cream for combination skin? I'm 26. A good under eye cream for combination skin. Let's have a think. I do love Origin's Ginseng. I find that is a very good one for under eyes on combination skin. It's a little bit brightening as well. La Roche-Posay do great ones. Their Repodermic R is very, very good. And that's actually aimed at kind of sensitive skin. So whilst combination skin doesn't necessarily mean sensitive skin, it has kind of high levels of retinol in, but it's still aimed at sensitive skin, so it doesn't aggravate. So that's a great one. Karen, I'd love a 70s looking makeup to go with my clothes style. More rock than disco. Any tips on how to achieve the look aside from wearing no makeup? Love it. Go, Karen. I always think like those kind of orangey browns are quite nice for like the 70s look. And if you want it a bit more rock and roll, you could do some interesting like 70s style lashes could be quite cool. Maybe even some like bottom lashes and nothing on the top. You could do You're saying more rock than disco. I think you can still get away with like the smudgy kohl even for the 70s. I think, you know, maybe do smudgy kohl but no mascara. That could be cool. Love that. I hope you send me pictures. I want to see that on my socials. That'd be awesome. So someone's put, what are your lipstick application tips? So lipstick application tips, one of the biggest tips I can say is that most people naturally have 2 lip lines. So often you'll find you have the lip line where your lip ends, and then just above it you have like a very, very slight halo. And if you go into that halo, you can actually use that to balance out your lips really, really well. If, for example, you have like maybe you have a smaller top lip and you want it to be the same equal distance as your bottom lip, you can just go into that halo. Someone's put, I have combination skin and I always end up with no foundation or patchy foundation on my nose. It's just on my nose. Do you have any tips to make it last longer? This is where I recommend primer combining. So this is where I would often use something like the Pore Professional by Benefit just on the nose and a different primer all over. And then this is where I'd probably even use like a slightly different powder to the nose than I would everywhere else. It's kind of about like product combining, just making it so that, you know, you're actually setting the areas that need, maybe, you know, that's where it comes off a little bit quicker. Let's see. What do you do if the base you bought is the wrong color? Well, I think it depends. I think, you know, I know it's different as well in different countries. Like in the US, I think you can take makeup back if it's the wrong color. In the UK, I think if you've opened it, I don't think you can. If it's kind of just one color darker, then you can always get one color lighter and just mix them. So when you're in summer, maybe it is the right color, or winter and, you know, maybe it's a paler color you bought, you can use it. Or I hate to say it, but maybe give it to a friend and have to find one that, I mean, there's, you know, you don't want to wear foundation that's the wrong color and makes you feel rubbish. That's all I'd say. How do you match your concealer to your base? Now, again, I think with concealer, you almost want something that's almost like, I think if you've got kind of, again, depending on what your skin's needs are, if you're having to, let me read that again, how do you match your concealer to your base? I mean, obviously you can pop a little dot on and see if it blends in. And the whole thing is you want to kind of bounce any dark under eye circles or any redness, but it's still kind of become part of the skin. So I think you would know just from testing it with your foundation. Probably best not to test it on your hand. I think a lot of us make the mistake of testing it on the hand. Okay, so we've got like 2 more minutes, guys, I think, before the fast action bonuses go. So let me know if there's any other questions you want me to answer, and I will. Just gonna get this up and running. How bright should a concealer be? No more than 1 shade lighter than your skin. I think as soon as you go too light, you start getting that kind of half moon under eye circle, which always looks a little bit scary. Okay. Could you recommend colors for concealers that will stop the under eyes from looking ashy? Yeah, again, I think you always want something with either a yellowy tone in it to stop it looking ashy, or if you have something like a salmony orange is really good as well, because especially if it's quite blue in the darkness, they're really good tones. It's usually like kind of blue or a purple that sits as the underlying color in the darkness. So the orange will counteract any purple tones and the yellow will counteract any blue tones. So I hope that helps. So I'm just going. So any other questions? So someone put, where should you place the blush? So for blush placement, again, I think it's about kind of like really enlivening the skin. So you want it kind of in the apples of the cheeks upwards. I think if it's just on the apples, it looks a bit too doll-like. And if it's just here, then it kind of looks a bit 70s. So think about where you blush naturally and also kind of smiling and, you know, where that color comes through. And you just want it to, you can always take another brush and just blend it out softly, just to kind of phase out the edges if need be. You're welcome. Okay, so 1 more minute, guys. So 1 more minute to get those fast action bonuses. And then, yeah, it will still be available to purchase just without the fast action bonuses. So let's see. Thanks for the tips on 70s makeup. Follow-up question, how do you make a look feel modern and current? Great question. Again, I think this could be something about like the skin, for example. You could maybe have the skin, so obviously a 70s skin was a little bit more, you know, it either was kind of like nothingy and very like, oh, what's the name of the girl I'm thinking of? I've got her picture in my head. It was either kind of like very Jane Birkin-y and like nothingy, or it was kind of quite full on. So you could maybe add in like a soft dewiness to it to make it have that nice glow. That could always be a nice thing. You could add like maybe a modern feature you could add in, or take away a feature. That's always a nice thing too. What nude lipstick could suit pale and neutral skin? Again, it would depend on how kind of dark your skin tone is. I would just say look for the colours that naturally appear in your lip and just mimic that. Okay, so let me just check. Okay. So I think that is the end of the chat, guys. Thank you so much for coming to today's workshop. If you've enjoyed it, please let me know on Twitter and Instagram, and let anyone else know that you've shared it with, that you really loved it. And I plan on doing more of these workshops, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.